So now I'm going to start introducing you. We've gotten her out of my personal space and understanding, just general. If I push my personal space towards her personal space, she needs to lead it, move it away. That's good. She's starting to pick up on this backup with less pressure. That's good. She's moving the front end. It's not a clean move over, but she understands to get it out of her way. There you go. Things are getting a lot better. All right. Gonna work on. I gotta look at that sticky side. See if we can get her to move it. Yes. Even though she decided to go forward, she understood to move it out of the way first. Here we go. I always tell my horses, this is a horse-free zone. I do not allow horses to swing their nose over my head. So anytime I see them starting to do the swoop thing, I'm doing jumping jacks saying, hey, horse-free up here, horse-free. And they usually get the idea pretty quickly. So, again, working on that back up. Oh, there we go. She wants to push on that pressure. It's a horse's natural instinct. There you go, to push on pressure. And that's what's gotten her, her way a lot, I believe, with her owners and handlers is that, as a baby, they probably thought it was cute that she'd shove around on them. Now she's a 1,000-pound horse, and that's not appropriate, but she should have been taught that when she was younger. But most people don't know to set those boundaries because they're so cute and so lovable. Yeah, because she does have a really sweet disposition. She's never been told where those boundaries are. Now she's starting to question and thinking about, backing off more instead of crowding. And that's a good thing. If I see her doing too much of that, then I'm going to, balance that out and, do a little, put a little love on her and teach her that that's, it's okay. There's a time and a place. So, introducing the saddle. I've got it sitting here. The first thing that I will do a lot of times is I'll introduce the girthing sensation by tossing this rope over, getting her to stand still. Now she needs to understand when the rope means move her feet and when the rope means don't move your feet. So there, she got that understanding. Okay, I like taking the end of my lead rope, feel underneath the rib cage, play with that feel around here. This is the way I like to introduce that girthing sensation. Don't ask her to move when I do it this way. Just want to kind of introduce that. If she gets a little, she's processing again. I'm going to do it from both sides. She's a little more skeptical of people over here. She's starting to get more balanced with that too, allowing me to be over here. See, I can tell she's a little bit more uneasy. Okay. Again, personal space, thinking about nipping, going, hey, I don't really like what you're doing, and this is how I feel about it. So, I'll protect that personal space, but she was really more curious about that with that mouthiness than she was ugly or anything like that. So, once they've done that and they seem to be okay, if she got tight and wanted to move her feet a little bit, I'd keep playing, releasing and tightening until she decides that that's really not a bad thing. All right, I'm going to let her come over here, see if I can get her. Walk over here and check everything out. Start with the path. What I like to do is put myself on the off side, allow her to check it out here, then just toss it, rub it, bring it back, let her smell it again, smell herself on there. I'll do this on both sides. stand still, so I'm going to put myself back into that position. Show her the pad. Toss it over. Show her the pad. Toss it over. Right? Going to do it on both sides. She processes anytime I do something new. She processes. It's a sign of a nice, intelligent horse. Again, this is my sacrificial saddle. This saddle started many colts. We joke, which they were going to bronze it when it finally gives up the ghost in the saddle tree braid. Confident as she is, she still wants to put me back in front. She's not as confident with stuff happening behind her head and shoulder as I'd like to see. Okay. Just like with the pad, we go over here, I'm going to do the same thing over here. Try to do everything from both sides. Get each side just as good as the other. Okay, show it to her. Make sure she's paying attention to what I'm doing. Like I did with the lead rope. Play with it tight. Let it go loose. Play with it tight. Let it go loose. And that seems to be okay. Yep. You're going to thread that through. Just walk off, okay? And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for their response to me asking them to do that being any different than when the saddle wasn't on there. That was a really nice soft backup for this mare. So I can tell right now she's not tight and uncomfortable with the saddle at this girthing stage. So I'll go ahead. Snug it again. Again, I'm going to ask her something that's going to make her think, something that's going to cause her feet to go backwards and cross over. set my stirrups. Get her comfortable with the saddle. What I'm looking for here is the same thing that I'll start looking for when I first get in the saddle. I'm looking for the horse to become free at whatever gait I'm asking. Does the horse look stiff, humpy? You know, she got that back raise, does she look tight? Or is she moving fluidly? This little mare, she's moving pretty fluid now. Once we're fluid with one gear, we'll go into the next gear. This is a little gaited mare, so whatever that might be for her is what we're going to look for. That's got some communication going on, you know, looking like she's got, you know, she's listening, she's understanding. A whole new perspective on, you know, the role of humans in her life, especially on the ground. With this mare, she's pretty quiet. I'm going to go through this pretty quick. I don't expect this to be any big deal. I like to see what they do. Boat buoys, they're great, they're light, they make a little bit of noise, they're soft, they don't hurt the horse, but they give you a good idea of what might happen if your legs were the ones hanging off that saddle. Okay, so we're going to attach that here. Bronc rider. Really don't care to fall off of any horse anytime soon. I've said it before. If I get hurt, I can't work. So, my goal is before I get in the saddle, I want these horses really quiet. In the past 11 years of starting horses, I think I've had only one or two buck within the first 5 rides, and I plan on keeping that way. And that's, you know, that's a dozen Mustangs too that I've started. The leadership, she's asking questions. That's what I'm looking for. There we go. my first colt starts. But what I will do is I'll do this right here. I'll attach these buoys to that flank area where that back curve would be, just to test the waters back there. I'm going to go ahead and start her out on one side. I like to take things one side at a time. I like that that's not bothering her so much. Going to get behind that drive line, push her forward. Alright, this side checks out. Let's do it to the other side. Good girl. There you go. Good. Kind of checking in. Do I still have that draw? I do. Again, it's about keeping all this stuff in balance. Here, so we'll stop here. This is a good stopping point for a minute, and we'll be back in just a second. You know, for this little girl, it's kind of like going to military boot camp. So, all right. Now check this girth. She's a pretty round little mare. And I've got just a couple more things. What I try to do, one of the secrets, or it's probably not a secret, I don't think there are really many secrets left in the horsemanship world. Everybody shares them, and it's great because people like myself have learned a whole lot from the other greats that have put out DVDs and stuff like that. I try to literally ride the horse from the ground first. The less confusion about what I'm asking a horse to do once I get in the saddle reduces the chances or likelihood of the horse breaking into and doing anything like that. So again, that's not my goal. So what I like to do here, I call this stirrup driving. Now, as you can tell, moving that front end like what I did earlier is important, because here if she wants to go backwards, turn into me, what I'm looking for is her to understand, there you go, that pressure in the rib cage area, which will eventually be generated from my legs, means go forward. As soon as she goes forward, I'll leave the pressure alone. I'm just sitting here bumping her like I'd bump her with my heel. There we go. Even if it's a couple of steps, eventually it'll build into more. This is her wanting to try to put me back in front of her, which is where she's put people most of her life up until now. Drive her here a little bit. There you go. There's my forward. Okay, well, I'm also over here, play with how nice does she follow a field. That's actually pretty nice. Now she's going to argue with it a little bit. Okay, I'm going to pull out. There you go. Looking for the feet and the head to come around. The feet to stay still. Light bulb went off for her. Okay, gonna go and do some driving on the other side. This was probably the easier side. This side over here, she's not as keen on people. Sometimes that little bit of fear actually helps you a little bit. Processing there, going, okay, this is a lot easier than she thought. That's a good thing. Okay. Ask again. Good. There we go. More processing, more relaxing. All right. So now I might play with one more tool. I'm actually going to do some lateral flexion on this side. Again, looking for the yielding of the nose and keeping that feet still. Slowly, slowly. Yep. There we go. There. Now she's looking for food. Even though I've not had a horse throw me off in the first 5 rides, it doesn't mean that I don't put safety again first. I do wear a helmet the first few rides with the horse until I connect with that horse, know that horse knows me.